It seems we have guests.
We're the Bungie Kids, with plasma pistols glowing. It's our podcast show, with Brian and friends, and Frankie.
The Bungie Broadcasting Corporation is proud to present Frank O'Connor.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the third ever Bungie podcast. I'm sitting in the studio. It's a small room with Brian Gerard,
Cheers.
Luke Smith, both regulars, and a newcomer, a stranger, if you will, Mr. Joseph Staten, Bungie writer. Joe?
It's true. Hey, everybody.
Welcome, Joe.
You know what? I'm so proud to be on the Bungie podcast. I really am. I'm honored that you guys invited me.
Yeah, we didn't invite you at all because Bertone didn't show up.
Oh, I see. I'm a replacement. All right.
No, you were invited
no.
for the second part. We're just including you on the first one, too.
Exactly. It's
I
true.
appreciate it.
We invited you first, and then Beardy Bertone second.
Yeah. Well, it's lucky that I'm actually cultivating a scraggly beard to sort of fit the bill.
Right. Well, you're somewhat beardy. I'll give you that. There's a little silver there, isn't there? Is that what I'm seeing
out
there?
my gray hairs.
He might be blonde. I can't tell.
Frankie's pointing out problems with your hair. Does anyone else see the problem with this, or just me?
Well, you're talking about. If you're talking about problems with my hair, I have no problems with my hair.
Joe meets the criteria. He's got a frosty beverage.
Anyway,
Joe, stubbly beard. He's allowed to be on the show,
and he's working on his Silver Fox deal because he's about to be a published author, right?
That's what I've heard.
Which is why he's wearing a cravat and a smoking jacket also.
Well, I thought we were supposed to be in costume for the podcast. Wasn't that on the thing?
That's not a costume. That's your clothes, dude. Just a minute.
I just put this Halo shirt on before I came in the room.
Oh.
I never wear one to
Sketch,
work.
always branding, even on radio.
Hey, I believe.
So we just got back from E3.
Yeah, you guys, how was it?
We were tired. We didn't see anything at all. We saw one thing. We'll talk about that later. But we just did demos on the half hour, every half hour for like 1,000 days.
Yeah, we did. What did we add up? About 50 combined between
Was
the
it
two
literally
of us?
50?
That's
50
what
demos?
my rough math came out to. About
Sounds
50.
about right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was like 50 deaths that the press had to watch?
No.
No.
How
At
many
least
is
half of them
Oh,
were
yeah,
successful.
25.
Yeah, only
I think we're on
25
the
deaths. See, we don't actually choose to implement
cheats,
death lists, or any kind of cheats like that. Unlike
who would
some
do
other
God,
people in the
God
industry
mode
that we know.
Who would do God mode during a demo? I don't know. I don't want to start a big brew, about that.
You don't want to start a big brew, Mac.
Oh, cough, Cliffy. Oh, God mode.
Actually, if I was on stage, I would have definitely turned on Deathless.
We would. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, there's no. I mean, like, who would have want to see somebody playing the same demo over and over? I would have turned on Deathless too.
It's an hour later. All right, one more try, folks. Bear with me. I'm taking this fandom down.
Yeah. It was easy for us because our demo was we had a half hour to play around, and if we'd had 5 minutes on stage, it would have been disastrous if we did. And actually, a lot of people asked us why we didn't do the campaign demo on stage live in front of everyone. Why was that?
I thought it was because our only great player, Luke, wasn't available to come do it. So.
Yeah,
Sounds confirmed.
I didn't have anyone hardcore enough to do it. So,
Well, I would have left Deathless off.
well, so cheats.
I think we didn't show it on stage just because we had awesome trailers to show. That's my theory.
There you go.
That's true.
We should talk about that trailer for a minute, because there's been a lot of feedback and reactions out there. Overall, I think Halo fans generally found a lot to like about it. There's a ton to pick apart, tons of gameplay to look at, a lot of new stuff no one's ever seen before. Also a huge departure, though, from what Bungie's done in prior years.
Yes and no, because as Marty pointed out, while we were making it, this wasn't supposed to be a trailer. It wasn't supposed to be one of our drama pieces. It was supposed to be a music video, to use his words. We did one in 1999, per Marty's description, and this was a repeat of that. I mean, that's exactly what it was supposed to be, and that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at Halo 3 announced, Halo 2 announced, those were massive projects, took months of work. And basically, once E3 moved to fall right in the middle of the final crunch period for the game, we made the decision that there was no way we could actually pull together something of that magnitude.
And all those demos were total lies. Oh, what? No, but the cool thing about this one was that it's actual gameplay. I mean, I think this is the first Bungie trailer that we've ever done where we have taken... I mean, with respect to the Halo stuff that we do at E3, that's all in-game, real shipping stuff.
I mean, we
play.
always use Engine for those things,
Yeah.
but then some of that stuff gets dumped, right?
Right.
Like Earth City, all of that geometry ended up being dumped.
Well, I guess we showed Zanzibar for Halo 2,
Yeah.
but really what we've shown is
That
like
was
announcement
not at
trailers,
the
right?
keynote. We didn't do
No.
that Zanzibar demo on the keynote.
We did at the E3 before we shipped, so I guess we have shown some gameplay stuff. But even then, we were just showing the environment. I
Right.
mean, the cool thing is all the old trailers; those were really, like I said, announcement pieces. So it was just prototype. This is where we're heading
Right.
toward. But
Right.
what people saw at E3 was where we've arrived, which I think is pretty darn cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And to reiterate that it's a game engine every time. Just because the game might not end up looking like that doesn't mean it wasn't the original game engine, right?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
Well, I understand there was maybe some technical issues with the live broadcast on a gaming network. If anybody was
gaming
watching
TV
that
network.
feed.
Yeah.
But if you haven't already seen the real version in HD that's on Marketplace or Bungie.net or a QuickTime on halo.bungie.org, definitely should check that out. There's a lot to see.
Yeah, Neil's thing too.
That's right. We should let's
talk a little bit more
for a
about that
minute.
because you had a big part in that, right?
Oh, I mean, I had a part in it. No, I mean Neil and the guys down at Weta, they're working on a series of short films that are going to release throughout the summer. So this one was really just the first one, a preview for what's to come. I can't talk about the other two. I
Right.
don't want to give away any surprises, but the other two, suffice it to say, are much more story, action-driven, real self-contained
Right. We
short
did this one.
films.
We did this one in Injustice by just springing it on people without any context.
Right.
So they're like, why am I looking at sniper rifles and warthogs being assembled? We didn't. What we didn't do is say this is the first in a short series of short films,
Right.
which will actually come to a dramatic conclusion, right? I
I mean, we did say that after the fact, but it
Too
was
late
really
by then.
lost on people at the keynote. As
Yeah,
cool as I think
absolutely.
that short was, at the keynote itself, it just
Well,
wasn't.
yeah.
People just didn't know what the hell it was. They didn't know what to make of it.
Right.
And it was kind of weird.
Right. Well, it is the kickoff to a series of short films, which are going to be really, really cool. We haven't quite figured out how they're going to get distributed and when exactly, but those guys are working on it right now. And actually, an email, which you guys have seen, I got the best picture in the world.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
what was it, Joe? What kind of picture was it?
It was a picture of a thing with wheels that you could actually drive around.
Did it have 4-wheel independent steering?
It had tusks on the front, like a
All right.
What?
like a puma.
That's a
saber-toothed
tiger.
puma.
Sorry, right, exactly.
There
No,
was,
but I mean, for these action-oriented shorts, I mean, you saw some of the physical models that Weta was making, but when you have action, you got to have guys driving around and shooting stuff, and so all that stuff is in the pipe. But it looks awesome.
Right. I think it'll make a lot more sense when you watch that one again, but it's back to back with the other shorts. So.
Yep. And I mean, I think we can say honestly that up until 2 days before the keynote, we weren't even going to be a part of the keynote. So a lot of people here did step up and bust
Right.
ass to produce that trailer, and everybody in this room helped play some games, get some
Right.
safe films, provide that down to the video crew. So
Except for me.
yeah, you were on vacation
You were on
that whole
vacation
week, were you?
in Yosemite.
Well, I wasn't on vacation. I was holed up in a mountain cabin, typing away, thinking of you guys.
That
but-
sounds so professional.
Yeah, I know.
You sound like a real author.
It sounds so Stephen
I
King.
retreated to
like
a cabin in the woods.
the dark half or something.
right. Yeah, no, it wasn't very professional at all. Trust me.
No.
Can you
But-
talk a little bit about the book at all? What are you
yeah.
comfortable talking about?
Well, it's I'm in.
'Cause people saw the final cover and
Yeah, people saw the cover.
People
that looked
loved
really
the cover,
good.
yeah.
There was a slight battle rifle controversy about the cover, which I didn't expect. Which
Right.
is interesting.
Can you
Did
clear
read
that
about
up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
I
you want to
did. People
clarify
were-
the...
Well, suffice it to say that there's a really good reason that Avery's got a battle rifle in the book. So
Right.
it wasn't a mistake.
Right, we know
It
that.
was intentional. But just some people thought it was some people thought it might
right,
have
they
been
thought
a
it was an
mistake.
anachronism.
They thought that they'd caught you.
They
Like
did.
these sleuths on the interwebs were like,
No,
we
you
caught
can't-
Joe.
You can't catch me.
Did
No, wait.
BRs didn't exist at that point in time?
That's
Well,
what some thought.
Oh, okay.
In First Strike, I believe, some of the Spartans go in and Halsey whips out some new, new generation weapons, and the battle rifle was one of those as a little preview for Halo 3.
Okay.
But that isn't to say that the battle rifle didn't exist in an even more
Well, I mean-
prototypical form earlier.
Right. Well, more to the point,
that.
like if you're a gun fan, the Kalashnikov is still the most commonly used weapon on Earth and hasn't changed in, 40 years?
That's true.
Like, it's gone through minor modifications. So let's just look at... And this
like
is the
Jeopardy.
26th century.
Kalashnikov.
And you got to ask yourself, what kind of soldier would be responsible for, say, field testing a prototype weapon even before the Spartan 2s?
Spoiler. That's a good point.
Yeah. You know?
I'm not going to argue. If the story Bible says it's so, then it's so.
Yeah.
There you go. Joe has spoken.
Yeah.
Shut up, Halo
It is
Nation.
the word of God.
There were a lot of threads on the forums about that, though. A lot of people freaking out.
Well, I mean, technically, the UNSC didn't know how to hold two guns at one time until
Right, exactly.
circa Halo 2 either, right? So,
It's true. No, it was actually outlawed. Like, you could not do a wield in
It was
the
in
UNSC.
violation
Desperate
of an
times.
act,
Desperate
fighting
times
a
cause for
covenant.
desperate measures.
That's right.
Dual
That's
wielding,
right.
John Woo style.
in our darkest hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
You
know what
picked
else I
up
can
a
say
second
about the
weapon.
book, Luke, without giving away mad
Can you
spoilers.
say whether or not there's a sexy times sequence in it?
I think I might have alluded to some sexy times in the interview that we gave.
Do we finally get to figure out how Avery knows what the ladies like?
You know, I can't really say because that
Okay.
would ruin it. But it's there's a little bit of romance, and it doesn't all involve. Look at these guys with their skeptical looks and their frowns.
I'm not
and
skeptical.
their-
I'm aroused. I'll be honest. I want to know what he does and who he
Stay
does
in your
it
chair,
to,
Frank.
and what
Stay.
species it is. Just tell me.
No, well, it's not just Avery. There's love all over.
Can
the
you do a? Can I do a
Haley
find and
universe.
replace on your Word document and find turgid?
No, you can't. There's actually I have a list of words that I refuse to put into any love scenes because that would just take it into Harlequin territory.
Yeah.
Like
You
the
can't.
st-
You
the
can't use the
horrible-
word spastic in a love sequence,
Did you share,
right? Or
what are some of the words you can't use in the love scene?
shenanigan.
You can't really use breast.
What?
Why
No,
not?
Well,
Space
because,
boob.
Well, you can't. I mean, breast. Always the use of breast usually involves a verb somewhere
Right.
proximate, and so then you get into like
Petting.
Smacking
yeah,
and squeezing
touch,
and
and then it's
Jiggle.
Yeah, it's
This
not.
is. Hey guys, I need a cold shower now. I'll be back in a minute.
the Bungie Podcast.
So, speaking of your novel, you're going to be down at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con next week, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the WizKids booth.
Sign in stuff.
Ooh.
Meet
Sign
and
in.
greets.
Wait. WizKids isn't a book publisher.
No, but we have this grand Halo licensing
Right.
empire.
WizKids is a what?
WizKids is making the Halo Clicks game, which is super awesome.
Yep.
And so they were nice enough. I'm not quite sure how we worked that out. Brian probably knows more, but they were nice enough to get together with us and Tor and create a little sort of a little Halo encampment down at Comic-Con. So I'm going to be there, and Eric
Signing
Island's going to
boobs.
be there. So perhaps if people show
Breasts.
up, I won't.
Yeah.
say.
You get a Sharpie. It's non-toxic, ladies. It's safe. Come on by.
Yes, it's true. But my wife also helps with the WizKids PR, so she'll be standing right next to me. So if you show up in a bodice, just tap me on the shoulder. We'll go around behind.
Would
the
you
booth.
sign a dude's boob?
Yeah, man boob. A
Would
moob.
I? Don't you mean?
Yeah.
When was the last time I did?
You have posters of the cover or something you're
so
giving
they're
away,
making
right?
flats, I guess, of the cover, and we'll be signing those. And Eric, who's actually published books,
Yeah, he's
they're
got
signing
mad
real
books, yeah.
and I'll be there with my little piece of paper. It's coming out.
It's a
really.
pretend book.
It is a pretend book.
Are you going to be taking rides on the Halo Click Scarab as well during your breaks?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
heard
think
that
they've
thing's
made it,
huge.
They made it big enough for me. I mean, I'm a strapping guy, but I hear it's pretty big.
Is the Halo Clicks, as I call it, Scarab based on the Halo 3 Scarab?
Yeah,
I
it
believe
is.
so, yeah.
It is.
The one
from
from
what
the
I've
trailers.
seen.
Would you
Luke,
see the
Luke
Master
got
Chief
to go to their
fight?
office.
Yeah, I went to WizKids a few
See
weeks
the
ago. They
giant,
showed me.
tiny Master Chief running away from the huge scarab.
They
Yeah.
showed huge pictures of it and like played a fake game of it in front
Nice.
of me.
Yeah, Comic-Con.
There you go. Every Halo fan. What,
Where
do you know
and
which
when?
booth that is by any chance?
I
or-
believe I'm there on Saturday, and I think it's in the afternoon sometime. But
Which hotel are you in? That's all right. Nobody will care.
yeah, I don't even know. I don't even.
This
know,
thing airs
honestly.
after that. You're safe. Go right ahead.
Well, you're going to be there, aren't you, Brian?
I can't go this time.
Oh,
Frank,
just gonna be
Frank
me?
and I have another obligation. We're taking
gonna
the
be-
Halo
We're
Roadshow
going
out
to
to
be in
Europe to
In Europe.
spread
Leipzig.
Bungie love. No, this isn't Leipzig.
Amsterdam.
Going on the tour.
This is legitimate work.
Yep.
In Amsterdam, sure.
It wasn't even our choice of venue.
I would have killed to go on that trip.
Are you serious?
What is your venue
Are you
in
kidding?
Amsterdam?
But it's not like people always say that.
I don't think we're allowed to give away any details on that yet.
But people always say that.
It's
going to
be cool. It is going to be cool.
It's like when Harold was emailing us when we were in Santa Monica. He's like, "How's the beach?"
We'll be calling in for the next 8 or 9 podcasts from Amsterdam.
exactly.
We should be back by end of the calendar year if things work out.
We'll develop a Dutch accent, which, as far as we know, is smoking a pancake. Right? I don't really know how to do a Dutch accent. All the Dutch people I actually know have kind of English accents.
Yeah.
So, no offense.
Cool. So Comic-Con's going
Nederlanders.
to be a place to be. It sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
People should go down and check it out. Look for Joe. I'm sure our friends from Red vs. Blue will be there again in their booth.
Oh, those guys are going to be...
They wear the armor and there's a big mob scene. Yeah, it was cool last time.
Well, there's no more Red versus Blue anymore.
There's no more Red versus Blue. The blood
changing.
I'm going to go on a limb and reckon there's still a lot of RGB merchandise that warrants selling.
Right.
So
now it's collector's
still
item.
be there. Yeah.
Now it's even
Did you
more
guys watch the
valuable.
final episode?
I cried.
Did you watch all 3?
Cried a tear.
I cried a little. No, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Didn't the Red versus Blue guys get an opportunity to do a voiceover in Halo?
Shh! Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe
We don't know if it got used or not.
No. I mean, it might have gone in.
That was all for charity, right?
Yeah.
It was for charity.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be terrible if that was for charity and they paid all that money and they didn't get in.
It sucked.
We'd really screw the pooch.
What if we didn't agree with
It
the
could
charity?
be in. Maybe it's just a super rare skip fraction. It's just you may never
What's a
hear
skip
it.
fraction?
I'll defer to one of the other experts for that.
I may or may not have written Bernie an email last night confirming that something may or may not have gone into the game successfully.
Well, we know where it
Maybe.
is too. So, or if it existed, we would know where
Hey,
it was.
actually, this is we should maybe talk about dialogue for a few minutes because that was
Absolutely.
a big hot topic around our E3 demo. And while all the press and people we had in the room with us really loved it, they thought it was awesome. The grunts had tons of witty lines, and the Marines. And I read a lot of reports that just how much more vibrant the dialogue was, how much more constant,
amusing, and awesome it was.
Much to the dismay, though, of our audio team back here at Bungie, because on the build that we had with us, the combat dialogue just has not been tuned yet. So literally, there was never a second where somebody wasn't saying something.
Yeah, they were basically responding to every trigger all of the time with, and to answer the earlier question, a skip fraction is how the system decides how frequently a line will be played. And the more rare the skip fraction, the more rare the line. Simple as that, right?
Yep.
So as Marty pointed out to
Higher
me
the skip fraction,
today,
the rarer the line.
it was actually pretty entertaining and fun for like a 7-8 minute demo, but 7 or 8 hours of nonstop Marine and grunt chit chat.
What's boring about 7 to 8 hours of grunt? Come on, that's good times.
I'd pay good money for that.
So I just know that the audio guys here wanted us to reiterate that the final game that ships will not be quite so over the top in terms
So
of
loquacious.
combat dialogue. Yeah.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Loquacious. Sibilant.
So was there any other house cleaning or anything that otherwise surfaced from the E3 reports?
Well, I mean, there is the whole Frank and I spreading lies for 4 straight days.
Yeah. Well, spreading other people's lies, let's be honest.
I mean, we should just come out right now and try to clear the air about a
So there's
misunderstanding.
a couple of lies we spread, right? I think probably the biggest, most difficult one was we were told very early on, and this isn't anyone's fault. We were told thousands of years ago that the Halo 3 Special Edition Xbox 360 shipped with the wireless headset, and they gave us one as a sample, and so we brought that down to E3, and we're like, it ships with this, and it ships with this. It does not ship with the wireless headset. It ships with a specially designed Halo 3 wired headset, which is actually good news for some people who don't want to pay that like giant extra premium for a wireless headset, and also are like loath to use extra wireless devices in their home and all that stuff. But
What would
it's
you call
wired.
people? What would you call people who are loath to use
Luddites.
wireless?
They should go back to Luddia. Anyway, so it's the wired headset, and it does match really nicely, so it looks pretty cool anyway. But the other lie that we spread was the unlimited items that you could save on your hard drive from saved films and game variants and so on.
Screenshots.
Yeah.
So there are some limits, but they're actually pretty flexible. So you can only have 50 screenshots on your 360, But that's not a big deal because you upload them in BungieNet and you can save as many as you want, trillions of them. Doesn't matter. So that one's kind of irrelevant. But
BungieNet itself is not going to host a trillion.
No. You'd have to save them to your hard drive.
Player, right?
You just save them to a folder. Here's my Halo screenshots. Bam, you're done. It's the same date and metadata, right? So you're good to go on that. So you can basically, with a very small amount of work, save unlimited screenshots. But we said that you could have unlimited movies on your hard drive until your hard drive ran out of space, which isn't exactly true, but we found a workaround. So you can have 100 items on your hard drive. So that could be, for example, it's a bad example, 99 saved films and 1 saved game variant, right? So it has to be 100. It's got to be a combination of that. But I went and asked our UI guys, and the good news is that's sort of irrelevant too, because you can just make another profile because it's on a per profile basis. You still have to do some swapping around to upload them because you can only upload from a gold account. But you just do that on your 360 HDD and you're all set.
So like in RPG terms, like a mule, if you will?
I don't play RPGs because
come on,
chicks
back
like
No,
them.
Sketch is right. It'd be like having a mule character. But the question is, what will you do if you have to unlock different accounts? You'll have to unlock different areas on those accounts. Like if I was going to save from a mission that's other than Sierra 117 on a silver account, wouldn't I have to unlock that mission first?
I mean, that's a really good question. We should
Frank
definitely
doesn't know.
Well, we should definitely check with the UI guys as to whether or not it's easy to move saved games, for example, from between one profile and another. I have the feeling you can. So you might be right. You may have that extra step of having to unlock those levels for campaign, but it won't be a big deal in saved films for multiplayer at all.
Yeah. Was there anything you guys said down at E3 that wasn't a lie?
Yeah, I introduced Brian Gerard. Oh, I actually said you were Elvis.
Yeah.
All I know is reading the email when I got back is that there was a certain amount of trash talking about who could and couldn't shoot down certain phantoms.
It was like Gimli and Legolas.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. With less of a homoerotic undertone, I would say.
I'm not sure
I don't
about
know.
that.
You guys are sitting
necessarily.
awfully close.
Yeah.
Well, we spent 12 hours a day in a dark room.
Yeah, no. I mean, all we had was each other and the endless carnage. So
Huddled around the heat of our power brick to stay warm. I mean, it was...
Indeed.
It was
but
rough.
it did. I remember, it didn't really get competitive till we saw the email thread back at Bungie, right? Because
when Frank sent an email saying "sketch fail, he died." Lol.
Something like that.
Yeah, that didn't start a war.
No, that wasn't it. Stefan that started that email thread. I can't remember. It was someone here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just happened. Everyone that I'd seemed to do my demo for was at 9 a.m. First show of the day, the most critical press, and I happened to die. So,
well, Sketch sent me an email or an IM one day that was like, "We're getting really tired. We're dying a lot." And I said, "Are you letting Frank play too much?" And he said, I actually, I die a lot too, but when I die, it's with drama. Frank just dies by getting picked off by carbine jackals.
it's true.
I agree that Sketch has way more drama going on than me. But by the end of the event,
So, true or false? Whose epic playthrough had the entire room breathless, letting out a collective sigh and gasp when I finally cleared that level?
Didn't you just answer
mine.
that question?
Okay.
Whose
In
spite of what
playthrough
you
when
just
I
said.
finished?
And true or false? Who gave the last demo of the show, but I think died on their last hurrah?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never met you before in my life.
Yeah.
But I did. Who shot down the Phantom more times? Let's be honest.
You probably did.
Right.
I'll give you
I'll
that.
give you all of what
hold on
you
a
just
second.
said.
Who
What were
taught
guys-
you how to
what were you
shoot the
guys
Phantom
using to
down in
shoot
the
the
first
Phantom down?
place?
What were you...
Chain gun.
On Heroic, there's a chain gun on the ledge or on
wouldn't
the
know.
edge of the riverbank.
Oh, on the
Joseph
dock?
wouldn't really know.
Pump station.
He plays primarily on normal.
I don't notice it appearing on normal and easy,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
It's really an elite tactic.
He plays on normal
Yeah,
with
it's
deathless.
for you because you play on normal. It's on the bouncy castle near Funtown.
I'm never coming back to the podcast.
I did get the idea from Frank, and I almost pulled it off. I got up on the second roof
Yeah.
of the second mini little structure. Almost took the Phantom down with a melee attack before it flew away. You saw it?
Well, see, the funny thing is, there are two... at this point in the project, there are two ways to play the game, right? There's playing the game,
Right.
like Luke, who will go
There-
in and
well,
turn on various things.
Frank described it appropriately last
jack up the
week.
difficulty
Don't
level.
talk about various
I'm just
things.
Saying, do a little
We don't
certain
talk about
flip
various
switches
things.
What? He
and-
turns on subtitles.
Yeah, I do like to play with
that's
subtitles.
things like that. Or there's the sort of the testing play, right? Where you turn on normal, you turn on deathless, bottomless clip, you go through and you listen for dialogue, you're fixing bugs. I mean,
Luke doesn't do
I
that.
admit,
I like to see brutes commit seppuku as I'm walking onto them.
It's seppuku.
I admit
It's
I am of
karate.
the latter
It's
playing
Naruto. That's
Keep it
right.
So, Joe, how do you play?
So I play to fix bugs. Right now. Test bugs, fix them.
Right.
See, we've
Log
been
'em.
through this. Luke doesn't know how to play for the sake of screenshots.
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
play for
gotta
the
be-
sake of save
It's
films.
all for glory.
Doesn't
Hey,
play
have
for
you
this.
ever described the most awesome save film ever?
Actually, we should
No,
probably...
because of the new saved film,
No, but
the truncated one I made the other day
that
Oh,
one
no.
was win, but
with
this is
Reefer
back
Madness.
No, I'm talking about the saved film.
the one where... Oh, the one with the animation bug?
The one where I beat Luke? Where Mr. Normal beat Mr. Legend.
What does he mean by bug? You mean by the skill where you just dipped your legs?
Do you remember how
slightly?
Luke, when we're fighting Luke's constant refrain is, "Gotta come to battle with the tools you got. Gotta play the build that you have." That's Luke's constant refrain, right?
As I'm like,
So
oh,
one day,
this particular item is on 1 minute and 30 second respawn. I'll be counting this in my head.
you can watch Luke just muttering under his breath, 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, I know.
And he's camping the. But anyways, and the one day I got the build where it was in my favor, where there was admittedly a bug with the Elite's animation. We generated the best save film ever of Me for the Win.
It's not really a bug. It's more of a karmic coincidence. So what happened was, all things being equal, it would have been a simultaneous death. Let's face it,
would've.
we saw it
Yeah.
frame by frame.
Yeah.
And the benign, benevolent powers that spin the wheels of the universe decided that Joe deserved to live
Yes.
more than Luke did.
Yes.
And an animation bug caused his... I don't remember which armor permutation it was, but whatever
I
it
don't remember
was...
what it was either.
caused it to duck by about, I mean, literally in real life, about 2 inches.
As Luke's killing brute shot round
Yeah.
flew over my head,
no,
impacting on the wall behind
it
me.
whiffed
It did.
over your head.
It did.
Nope, it was a headshot. The animation was bugged.
But the greatest thing about
no,
that
but it was
moment
real physics.
doesn't
The
count.
shot missed you. It's as
yeah,
simple as
as
that.
it was tied 24-24, Slayer. It whiffs over my head,
Right.
and then we go frame by frame in the save film, watching, and I'm pumping away with my
Right.
AR, and Luke's about to
No,
another
you're
another
forgetting,
brute shot
don't-
round is in the air, right?
Right.
It's about 3 frames away from my face.
You're-
Wait, I shall tell the story, then you may tell your version. So
All right,
Luke's pitiful last desperate brute shot round
Yeah.
is hurtling toward my head. And you know when you die in Halo, all your weapons and grenades
Right,
spill out of your
right.
body. Like, you know that's the frame of your death. So the
Right.
brute shot is 3 frames away from my head, and bam, 2 frames, all of Luke's weapons fall out of his
Fly out.
body as my last, literally, like 2 frames left to go in the match. All his weapons fall to the floor.
He's like a gun pinata.
The next, like, my score goes to 25. The next frame, bam, brute shot right in my noggin.
The thing is,
So you
though,
literally
the-
won by
one
frame.
Yeah,
One
and,
frame.
if we're not for the save film, like, Luke and I finished the game and went, what?
you
Let's watch
conceded
that
it was a
again.
tie at first, too.
No.
You're like, no, yeah, it's a tie.
The
Give it
tale
a
of
tie.
the tape was that you sucked it down.
No, because the correct version of the story includes an elevation change in Joe's character model, which led to the bobbing of the head of the model.
Oh,
The
sure, there
brute
was a
shot
bug
went
that we've
over
discussed
it.
before.
Yeah, your head was in between your hands to the point where when Paul Cliff, the technical artist, came up and took a look at it, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally a bug. You would have won."
Right, but the next head
And
that I saw in
remember
his
Story
was
complete.
yours.
Right
What a-
before that.
I know.
Isn't who in this room is notorious for calling bug anytime something doesn't work out?
Oh, it's me.
Oh,
For me, I'll come right
Come
out and say
on.
I'm terrible for it. Like, I'll just claim it's a bug.
Or lag.
But
Or
but
host.
true or false,
Frank
we-
does
Wait,
call
wait,
host
wait, wait, wait,
advantage.
wait.
I call bug, but Frank is all. Oh, you must be host.
and split screen games even too, right?
The best thing about listening to you and Frank play, because I sit in the Bungie office, I sit right in between Luke and Frank, basically. So when they're playing a little one-on-one, I get the constant banter back and forth.
Right.
And the best thing Frank says is, Luke, are you getting this, crappy frame rate on your build? Because, man, my frame rate is horrible. Are you getting this? Are you getting this frame rate? And Luke is just sitting over, hunched over, laughing. And for some reason, your box just always gives you bad frame rate.
Yeah, I got a defrag.
Well, the 4 of us actually play a lot of games. Normally every Friday. We haven't for a
It's
while.
true. Yeah.
But there's a long-standing rivalry. Sketch and I have never beat you guys on a map that I call New Map.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Jub Jub?
No, I'm talking about Long and Lean.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah, you
weird.
guys-
You're right. We
Well, no,
haven't
I
won
mean
that.
that's a combination of my stupid, pointless, suicidal aggression, and Joe is a really good long-range sniper.
Yeah.
and it's like it was just set up for us to win.
And
the first
Luke and
few
I
games,
having
for
to IM
sure.
each other as our only means of communicating during
I
the
was
match.
going to say, as Joe just outlined, Joe, Frank and I will sit together, sketch. How close would you say you are to me in the office?
I'm around the block.
That level is awesome. That's definitely one of my favorite levels. Like that rush for the certain gun in the middle is.
Yeah, there's a lot of like interesting control points, and it plays really well.
We might-
Well,
There
until
might
the
not-
end when you guys start to lose, and then it's just a pair of jackasses on either side of that map doing the same thing, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying it's your guys. I mean us too. Our jackasses on that side doing the same thing.
I think
waiting for certain things and doing other things.
There's
Yeah.
a teaser piece of concept art, I believe, for that map that's already out there.
It was in the Broke Viaduct too.
It was?
Yeah.
Briefly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well. Now people have an image in their head of what long and lean is.
That's a good name for it.
Oh, I think they do. You know, I can only imagine that the worst part of a Bungie podcast is when we're sitting around here trying to be tricky and talking about
Right.
cool stuff. People are sitting there going,
You jerks.
"Jerks!"
Yeah.
No, you know what's an even
jerks.
bigger worry is
What?
that we forget what we already revealed,
Or-
we're like, well, we have a map that has ground that is high.
Yes.
The kids are
There
just
may or
like,
may not be
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Or we have a guest in who doesn't even know what we've
Yeah,
talked about either,
that's true.
and they're talking about stuff.
And then they
that-
just start blowing it,
Right.
and then we forget. And
Well, I'm on message today.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
we
so.
edit it out.
Yeah, that's what Luke does. That's why you end up with a 38-minute podcast.
Yeah, a lot of
Exactly.
people complained about the length of the last one.
We
Like,
they
recorded-
said it's too short.
you're not getting anything longer
We
than
had
like 45
We
minutes.
had
to an hour.
90
Crazy
minutes of conversation, and Luke deemed that only 38 minutes were worth public
Well,
hearing.
Luke
guys
cut
talked
out
for
all the
90
talk
minutes?
about that new feature that we're going to be revealing pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I cut out all of the talk about
The
that.
feature that's in the EGM magazine.
Oh, the one that is probably going to hit subscribers in the next few days.
The thing that theoretically is a bigger deal than saved films.
Theoretically.
It depends on people's perception. I think it's amazing.
I think it's what you like to do. The cool thing about this thing is that it really caters to a specific kind of play.
No. That's the thing. I think miraculously it caters to everyone. I think
All right.
some people can get something out
I just
of
want
it.
to go ahead and let's just say it. You're
What?
talking about the gamma control and the
It's
Yes,
the
you can adjust your brightness.
the
I prefer
weapon
dark play.
lowering button combination is pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. But I was talking to the guys about the AV calibration tool that ships with the Legendary Edition and the
limited.
and the limited edition. And in theory, if you use it, you will get at least some of your settings up to ISF calibration standards, which for AV snobs is huge.
See, here's the thing. Frank is an AV snob.
I am.
I am not.
No.
And Frank, do you want to tell exactly how not an AV snob I am? Remember when you came over to my house one fine
Oh
evening?
my
and
God.
I had my new 360 hooked up to my LCD.
So I learned about this before I actually really even had met you. This was in like my first week here, and I at this point only knew you in like that stalker Halo fan way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're
wait a
the dude
minute.
from the
Comic-Con style.
my God, from the videos.
Wow. This is the podcast confessional. So Frank comes over to my house and I said, Frank, look, I got my 360 all set up. Hey, let's play some. What was I playing? I was playing.
I don't know. You had a Sharp Aquos, 37-inch,
Azure.
wall-mounted. Nice stereo system. You got your
Got the 5.1
flat
set up.
panel wall-mounted speakers.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. And then I was playing
He approves.
Dead or Alive, right? I was playing some Dead or
Oh, yeah,
Alive.
that's right.
And I said, Frank, check out this hot HD action. And Frank's, without even him putting his finger to his nose just pointed skyward and said, that is not high definition. I said, what do
Yeah,
you mean
he
it's not
had
high
it-
definition? I set it in the system settings.
He
And
didn't. Yeah, he set it in all the software settings. But the concept of a giant switch that says HD, not HD, just hadn't occurred to Joe. So I see that all the time. Like people just don't flick that switch. And but I mean, it's probably a testament to how cool, allegedly HD graphics look on normal TVs. But you didn't have it set to HD, and I flicked that switch, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
Well, the monitor calibration tool is cool for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Well, I can't give too much away about
No,
it.
you
But it's in
can.
the same spirit
we've
as
announced it.
it's in the same spirit as the Surround Sound Test.
Right.
Sort of fiction.
Do
context.
the welcome to.
I don't know if I thought we were just doing recorded grunt lines today.
Oh, are you willing to do some
You willing
live,
to
some
give us a
live
little-
readings?
If you
Riff
could
a
do
little.
some live readings, that'd be even
Can
better
you read
than
the?
recordings.
Can you read like the preface from your book in a grunt
In the
voice?
grunt voice. I think that'll have to be from a future podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know, there's going to be the old audiobook version of the
Are you still working on that thing that you were working on to get the audiobook done?
thing I was
The
working.
thing with
Weren't you
the
trying
thing?
to get a certain actor to do the voice?
Oh, someone. Yes, yes. We are still working on that. We're still working on that.
Oh
be
man,
very
I
cool.
hope it's James Earl Jones.
What?
That'd be awesome.
I thought it was Fitty.
50 Cent?
That would be good.
He's got a game hot off the heels of Bulletproof.
It's true.
Yeah.
Didn't it sell more than 1 million copies?
Yeah, the
Bulletproof?
first 50 Cent Bulletproof game did,
Bulletproof.
absolutely.
Yeah, I heard that.
Huge.
Great success.
Anything
should have
else in our
reference.
general grab bag roundup?
In the
round
general
table?
roundtable area.
What about that news today that Joe was talking about before we went on air? Certain long time.
Oh yeah, we Peter Moore left Microsoft.
That's right.
And he's going to take a position at EA.
Well, he hasn't physically left. He
No, he
he's
doesn't
here
leave
till
till September.
Till
Okay.
September.
So just in time to finish the fight.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, the game will be finished by the time he leaves, right? So,
So he's just
so he
gonna-
better get his shaders checked in. Right?
Actually, I think Peter's locked out at the depot at this
Oh,
point.
no.
I think he has to go
Do
through.
you think
through raid.
EA will make him laser those tattoos off?
Are those aren't real?
Sure they are.
Yeah,
Do
they're
not
real, dude.
believe.
Totally
No.
real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nope.
He has scarification as well on his other arm for like Pac-Man and stuff. Dreamcast logo.
The man's just a canvas. It's like he's
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 the
a canvas for
illustrated
his
man.
He is like Yakuza.
But it was a big. We sort of guessed something earlier than this, but it was a big deal today. Like people,
Yeah.
and people are actually quite sad because Peter Moore's like he's an awesome public speaker. He's a cool guy, and I will say this: he really knows his video games. Like of all
Yep.
the executives I've
Yep.
ever met, he knows video games. So we're kind of lucky that we have Don Matrick because he's obviously has a long experience in the video game industry. So it's kind of cool symmetry, right? We lose a guy to EA, but we get a guy from EA, and they both know their stuff. So. That's enough sucking up to the new boss.
like he'll ever listen to this podcast.
Oh, someone will email it to him. We'll be in trouble.
It's
We're
true.
going to get summoned.
Yeah. The PR agency will flag it anytime you mention like one of their names. It gets
Those
it gets
Bungie
flagged.
guys have gone Broken Arrow again.
For the first time ever.
No, they're going to listen to the old podcast. We're in trouble.
Oh no, it'll take him an hour and a half to get through all the audio material
Right.
that Bungie's ever put out.
But I mean, like
Lifetime.
I was checking the stocks today. Microsoft and EA stocks both went up on the news, so I guess it was
Nice.
in
Good
a
news
way
all
for
around.
investors, it was good news all around. So
Yeah, too bad I already finished my remodel.
Joe's been remodeling his house. He's having a
Every day.
jacuzzi and a sauna put in, loads of
Yeah.
70s sexy rooms. You name it, they're in his house.
You got
Loads of
you got a Halo LAN room too, right? That's
I
all
do.
it is.
You guys never saw my house before. The little, a 2-bedroom, 1
He
bathroom.
had
It's not much
So
bigger.
Joe lives in a really nice neighborhood, but he had the tiniest, lamest house. I mean, you don't mind me saying
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but like,
No.
So you
Sounds
drive
like an
up-
amazing investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if by investment you mean giant money pit, like,
well, it's
no,
not
it's
so much-
awesome now. It's
Yeah,
really
no,
cool.
it's cool.
You still don't have a
The Halo
dedicated
Nation,
gaming
I'm sure,
space.
really wants to hear about my
No,
remodel.
but you don't have a dedicated gaming space. What's up with that? Why wouldn't you? Why don't you have a papa room like me?
Because I have 2 kids.
But kids love games.
Kids do love games. My kids are young.
Right.
And Halo's a mature rated title.
Right.
I think this is fascinating for the Halo fans. When they read your
Yeah.
book,
Let's-
they want to know what mind
yeah.
state you were in, what influenced
They want to
you.
know what kind of rig you've got as well. What do you got? Like JBL speakers, a Sharp Aquos? What do you got?
Well, we already sort of went over the technical thing, but I will say it was very nice
What
to
do you
be
got?
sitting out in the back porch with the old laptop open, doing some edits on the book. It was nice. Mm-hmm. But you know what the cruddy thing is? Finishing the book, shipping Halo 3,
Right.
doing the remodel,
All in the
all
same
basically
week?
the same week.
You idiot.
I know, I'm
That's
stupid.
but once it's all done, you get to go on vacation for like 3
You
years.
just went on
No,
vacation
see, I
to
don't get the
Yosemite.
vacation thing because I got to... Oh, wait. Oh. There are other projects in the future.
Yeah, you're working on other
there
stuff
are.
that you're not really allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Joe's work has just begun.
Start the
It
fight.
has begun.
It's
So
true.
you missed all of E3 then, because you're out in the woods in a smoking jacket typing away.
Yeah, no, pretty much. No, I mean the only time I caught up on E3 on Sunday when I came back, but I missed the whole the whole stuff. I had
Right,
no
it was
email access.
Like a cascade of madness when you got
Cascade
back.
of Madness.
So what was the Game Pro Fiction clarification that we had to do today, didn't we?
Well, I wasn't going to call out any specific outlets, but there was a couple reports after E3 that surfaced.
Common mistake. We're just using that.
Yeah, it's just. I think it was a case where people that saw the demo merged that with some information that they had maybe gotten from the internet or through forums and presented it in a way that might have misled fans.
Was this the confusion about the elites?
No, this is basically taking all the stuff that people hacked from various beta bits and strings and mission names and piecing together tidbits. And when you tack that onto your official recount of the Frank and Brian demo, it gives the appearance that we actually gave a 2-hour PowerPoint presentation and listed off every mission, the full story arc, every spoiler, every weapon, which is all speculation and based on stuff that people may or may not have dug out of the beta code. So there was a little confusion surrounding that.
So you guys just did more lying.
Yeah, we
That's
just
all-
lied
that's
to
just
cover
not
it
sure
up.
about
Yeah,
I haven't said a true word yet in this podcast. So I'm
It's not even
programmed
Brian.
that way.
some guy called Dave.
Now, the funny thing about that is that when the theories happen, they're either totally dead wrong, right? So they're kind of funny. But sometimes, and I'm not saying this is this time, but sometimes they're spookily dead on accurate.
I saw.
Do you know what I mean?
I saw a forum goer guess exactly what our unrevealed feature is. I mean, like to the letter.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a
Someone
guess.
somewhere's
You
like,
could tell from
"That's
the way
me,
worded
I'm the
it.
guy.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
I know.
Yeah.
The most cockamamie theories ever. Like, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
There's going to be 900 new threads about how each guy is the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
They all are.
Everyone is. the
First.
guy.
We love-
First.
It's good times.
So there have been a bunch of requests on the message boards to for us to bring back the Wambulance, which
Right.
I guess you guys did before, and it's been like a
It's
feature
a
on
huge
BNet.
success.
But
It's back when we were way funnier before you started.
there's no one to ban right now. There's no.
I'll ban you
I mean,
right now.
There's
I can
no.
ban you, yeah.
Don't start.
I've got to produce.
Don't
the
push
show.
me. I'll ban you right now.
I'm eject you off the forums right this second. Click. Bye.
Hammer.
So when there is someone to ban and people to ban, the Wambulance will.
September 26th will mark the return of the Wambulance, I'm sure.
I heard a lot of wah from Frank down there when he was trying to get through jungle, but
Keeps going to the
wow.
well.
I know.
Keeps going to the
It's
well.
endless.
Yeah, you're
But-
the one that needed medical attention when the Phantom kept whipping your ass.
it's true.
But we did. I did gather a bunch of questions from the community that we could answer. But I was thinking we could have Joe read them as a grunt, maybe.
The Bungie Mail Sack.
Oh, I could.
Why not?
Can you
You're
do
an
that?
actor. Do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You're
Used to be.
professional.
Do you want to
Yeah,
start
you're
with
a SAG or AFTRA accredited actor, right?
Why didn't you start with Chunky Lover?
Yeah, actually, I didn't check with my agent before this podcast.
We can't afford you. You got to edit this all out. It's just going to be silence.
Oh god.
SAG.
You want me to read the
Yeah.
from the?
Dude, can you start with Chunky Lover?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Got to get a little grunty
All right.
here.
How many new emblems are there gonna be?
We can't answer, you know.
So I counted up how
you
many
did?
emblems there were, and I'm not going to give a specific number because I don't
Well,
think
seriously,
that's
why
necessary.
not? I mean, it's such a jumbo number. It doesn't matter.
There's at least 20 new emblems, but that's only half of it because there's a mountain of new backgrounds.
Well, and also there's basically an infinite combos of
Yeah,
those.
did anybody research that from the last podcast?
No.
Wasn't someone going to go and look up
Frank and I were doing
the
other
exact
math
number
facts.
of okay.
Yeah, we
No,
were
it
doing
was
other
too
math
we
facts.
couldn't do math. Remember, we're trying to figure out how many gallons of Mountain Dew we drink,
Yeah, no,
and we can't do math. It turns out we suck.
I started doing it on pen and paper, no joke,
true.
and gave up doing it pen and paper and was like, I'm just using the
Dude,
calculator on the computer.
I thought you were just going to ask Butcher to do it, and he'll just instantly give you the answer.
Yep.
Don't try to
It's
do
a
math.
human calculator. If you hit him,
Yeah.
numbers fly out of him.
This is when the grunts
But-
fall asleep.
Well, let's give them a little snippet. One of the new emblems is a hat combination. You can add a hat.
You
to
talked
your-
about it last
Yeah,
character.
the one that you fully revealed the last episode.
The kitten with the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
What
Well,
else?
what you didn't reveal was that the cowboy hat's actually a background, and
Right.
it will go on many different emblems, and some emblems have been designed, retouched, and retooled to incorporate.
This
the
is the
cowboy
problem
hat.
with insisting on a must-drink policy for the podcast, right?
Yeah, that was hardcore when I walked in. Like the beer was put into my little grunty fist.
Well, Brian forgot to bring second, so now all we've had is one beer. So now we're just
Actually,
laying
that's
without
not
being
true because you
hilarious.
know me, so I'm still milking number one.
Let's go to commercial if we need to. I'll get Frank a fresh Zima and we'll pick up where we left off.
I think we should just keep on trucking.
Let's keep on trucking. All right. Grunt number 1.
Snake dude for life. How is in-game water now?
I think that's Frankie.
Well, who should talk about this? Who's really interested in
Who loves water more than anything else in the world?
Sketch, what do you think?
Kevin Costner.
Oh, a whole world.
So we have
that
lots
was
of
lame.
different types of water.
Yep.
Some of them you've seen in the beta. They've all improved since then. But, I mean, honestly, like, it's got to the point where, I mean, there's no kind of water we can't really replicate. There's one kind of water that I'm not happy with right now, later on in the game, because I think it looks too tropical for the setting. But if it turns out that's not correct anyway, so...
You know the great thing about our water is, though, and I pointed this out to you the other day, that it looks so good. I mean, we're not trying to toot our own horn, but it looks pretty good, and it's showing, like, Halo 3 is getting wetter and wetter.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll be walking through a level where there heretofore was no water, and all of a sudden you're like, sploosh, sploosh, sploosh. What the?
Oh, I know.
Hey, there's a puddle.
I know which level you were talking about. It didn't have water before, because
No,
it had... Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I would call that water. As more of a liquid,
viscous gloop
substance.
Yeah.
I've been petitioning for like a wave runner ever since I first saw Howl's Water. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We know for a fact that we have a Zodiac that doesn't do anything in the game, the kind of like inflatable boat, and it's just laying around. So we've been trying to get them to put it in places where we can knock into the ocean and go tooling around on it, but it's not a real vehicle.
Did you guys do any shenanigans at the river in
Oh, we did
Spartan 117?
crazy
Sure, we
shenanigans.
went fishing,
Did you really?
Crab
Did you go underwater?
is.
Yeah, we went underwater. We jumped off the waterfall.
waterfall.
shucked
yeah.
some
Sweet,
oysters.
Did you kill any fish?
I killed a grunt that floated over the waterfall. Hilarious.
That was true.
Yeah. Yeah, killing fish is awesome.
Yeah, there's fish in the water, folks. Go find them.
It's true.
It's true, and they have physics and death, and that's
And they
too much
bleed.
detail.
Blood comes out of them when you shoot them too.
Actually,
Yeah.
no, the coolest water thing I've seen in a while is in Sierra 117 when the Phantom pulls in and it spills out the dozen grunts that come piling out of the Phantom, which is awesome in its own way, and they land in the pool at the bottom of the waterfall, and the sun's on the water, and the ripples go off, and it's I don't know, it's just so awesome to see the guys spill out.
Well, I mean,
and land
the thing about the water physics and the water simulation, as it were, is it's all completely. I mean, it's super hardwired into the game engine, so anything you do with water, it will replicate correctly.
What about water sports?
Well, people
Do
enjoy...
not Google.
Oh, yeah. Do not Google. But, we would walk up to corpses sunk in the shallow pool, changing the subject.
Yeah.
And just
Sorta.
melee them just to show that they sort of splash around and they cause waves. And they, when you first hit a corpse, it'll float to the surface again for a second and then sink.
Yeah, that's good. Sounds really cool. Water good.
So our next question is from David Tabor 4.
David Tabor's question is,
I want to hear Joseph Staten as the grunts in the next podcast. Oh, wait.
Yeah, there
Done.
you go.
David,
Self-fulfilling
done.
question.
Making dreams happen here on the
Done.
Bungie Podcast.
yeah. Next question is from
D. Sweden Lickin.
No, it's
Okay.
LKN. It's not licking.
Me no.
Okay.
Stupid grunt.
Are there any vehicles we haven't heard about yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Couple, right? A few.
lots.
Some you'll hear about
I wouldn't
soon,
say lots,
some
but
later.
a few.
Easy
yeah.
there,
I
cowboy.
don't know. I don't know
Whoa,
why
don't feature creep us and on after ZBR.
Well, no, here's the thing. It depends on what you define as a vehicle, right?
No, I mean certainly in terms of
not really.
pilotable, drivable.
How so?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
what do
How
you-
do you define a vehicle?
The one with the horn.
Oh, you mean the Rapture?
Yeah, I think we've.
Are we opening with the Rapture as our sound effect?
Not this week. No.
Oh, we should put it in right here in this pause.
All right. Here's the sound of the Rapture.
I'm saying that counts as a vehicle.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And how?
You've said too much.
Okay,
That counts as the vehicle.
it does. All right.
But there's other vehicles that are probably just as exciting to some people.
Yes, but the answer is yes.
Yes.
Operating Sumo asks, no one's ever going to ask to hear the grunt voice ever again after this. Is going to be awesome. Operating Sumo asks,
Could you give us an update on Halo Wars?
Well, no, except there are grunts in Halo Wars. That was the first thing I noticed when we went to see that demo.
Some of your kin are in there.
Yeah,
Much
it's
smaller.
True. It's true.
Where's your check?
Yeah, I mean, Halo Wars is we've worked with those guys for a long time on that stuff, and. I mean, did they demoed it?
They did show
we
it for the
went and
first
saw it.
time.
Frank and I,
you've seen
the only
it.
other game we got to see at the show was
Yeah.
Halo Wars.
That's cool. I mean, the great thing about it is, and I think they show this in the trailer too, is how much it looks and feels like Halo. I mean, the warthogs, they fishtail, they spin out, they tip, the grunts. I mean, the grunts are using my temp voice now, I think, but they're in little squads, and I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. It looks like Halo from top to bottom, from far out, from close
Definitely.
up. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, it looks fun.
For an RTS, it's weird to say, but it plays. It really sort of plays like Halo in a lot of ways when you're controlling the.
Well, we didn't get
warthogs.
to touch it. We just had to watch. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
But I got it, and I hate RTS and RPG games. I'm too stupid to play them. So I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh, I know how to play that," and it was really exciting for me.
I'm not that big an RTS fan, but I played it a couple times, some early builds, and I mean I can't say much about it, but I mean it's really really fun. It's those guys are doing a great.
Yeah.
they're doing
Well,
a
they
really
did
great
that.
job.
They did that thing with the Warthog demo where he's like, "Oh, sometimes we fail when we jump the Warthog over that canyon." And I was like, "Well, how can you fail? It's an RTS, isn't it? Script?" And he's like, "Oh no! If you point the Warthog in the wrong direction, it's going to crash."
Yeah.
So that was cool for me because most things in RTS are, they are scripted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this wasn't. So
Sketch
It's one of those
fails a
weird-
lot when he drives the Warthog.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you always get this.
Please.
Where
That was
call it
that was a bug.
Oh.
I bug tested that for usability purposes.
Yeah.
What? It's true. If you can't make it out of the first part of that mission without completely 100% inverting your Warthog and getting it stuck behind a pipe in a vertical position that cannot be escaped,
You
that's
did
a
the-
bug for design.
You did that 2 times in a row.
I was reproing it.
yeah, so
That's what we use in the
let's give
test
them a little
talk.
information. We were playing. We were all playing a build, and like we turned around, and Sketch is trying to drive a Warthog over a small lip, and so we pause and we look around at Sketch, and he just rolls it and gets it stuck behind a door. Right?
No,
Like,
it was like a big
A
air
boulder
duct
that came
pipe,
in
pipe
Yeah.
thing.
And he
It's
just
literally
stuck.
right out of the gate. So I'm like 10 seconds into the mission. I gun it,
Yeah.
and now I'm fully vertical.
So he gets it stuck, and we're all standing behind his desk watching him, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get it out of there." So he pulls out a grenade, and he just completely destroys his Warthog trying to grenade it out
Well,
of there.
it's good.
Presses
So now he's
start,
on foot.
revert
Yeah,
to
I-
He's walking.
save.
I flagged it as a usability concern. I think the designers may have taken a little off that lip in the beginning, so it's a little more friendly now.
Well, I
don't
found out
think
what was
so.
actually causing that.
This goes back to Joe's point.
No, no,
I
but
try to wear all hats when I play them. I want to know what is the novice player experience,
Including a
what is the
beanie
expert
cap with the
player
propeller
experience?
on it. Right? But the reason for that was because they changed the Warthog gearing so that it didn't change. It changed to a higher gear
I
much
thought
faster
so.
than
That's
chum.
exactly
That's-
what I. That
that's-
was my first assessment.
It's absolutely true. You got to
I think
get
that was
out
in
of
the
jail
bug
free card.
subject heading.
I actually saved a save film of that moment, and I
Yep.
put it on my DV cam. So, some point down the road, we'll dig it back up.
What's the next question, Joseph?
Tons of dudes asked.
What's in each version of the Halo 3 retail product?
People are still confused, Frank. They still
I'll tell you
wanna
what's
know.
in each version of the Halo 3 retail product.
A
Infinite
case
win.
full of love,
Yeah, it's like
drama, the end of a trilogy.
yeah.
Can you? Would
A
you mind
fight
rattling
finished.
off the?
Right.
The
So in the,
but can you do it in your best marketing speak?
No, without
It sounded like
getting
he was going to
fired.
go Sean Connery, didn't it?
In the standard Halo 3 edition, the plastic case, as we call it in shorthand. I can't do that. No, so the plastic case, normal version, comes with Halo 3, the video game, an awesome manual, and honestly, that's it. That's plenty.
Probably
That's
like a live trial card.
yeah, live trial card, the usual stuff, and let's be clear, that comes with a giant best campaign mode we've ever made. Seriously, easily, the best multiplayer mode we've ever made, and at
Other
least
stuff.
one awesome new feature that we haven't discussed. That's all in the game software. The limited edition, which is the metal box edition, the tin box edition, it's called, comes with Halo 3, as we said before. It comes with the Bestiarum, which is a guide to the species of the Halo universe. It's really cool, hardcover thing. Kind of like the Gears book in form factor, because it fits in the same case. Very different in content, though, but a big deal for Halo fiction fans. And it also comes with a 360 executable disc, which features a ton of stuff, including the Warthog Jump game from Ball, if anyone's familiar with that. It's kind of a flash game. It's been done in 360. Comes with the aforementioned AV calibration tool, which is huge, and a bunch of sort of feature shorts making of stuff. It's really cool. Oh, legendary. Giant Spartan helmet. Same stuff I just said for everything.
I think we need a soundtrack.
Enhanced. Yeah, no soundtrack. Don't get Marty started.
No, I mean a soundtrack for your announcement.
All right.
We can do that in post.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
you can't.
No, we can't. We don't have the skills.
We don't have the rights to that music either.
I know Marty would sue us. So it comes with everything I just said, but instead of the physical bestiarium, it comes with an expanded digital version that you can navigate at will, and it has actually more stuff in it than the paper one, as it were. And it comes with Lee Wilson's storyboard stuff and an extra DVD, which contains a ton of bonus features that aren't available in any other edition. So it's a big deal.
Most notably, the remastered Halo 1 and Halo 2 cinematics. And they're in their entirety.
In HD.
That's true.
And
That's
with
true.
developer commentary track.
With developer commentary, which is pretty funny, I gotta admit.
You think that was funny?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Me
I
and
laughed.
Jones on a couch.
Yep, I
after
laughed.
dinner. In
Yeah,
a big
when the
meat
necking
coma.
noises stopped, it was really funny.
Jason, I think you're brilliant. Marty, I love your music and your hair.
Gives me something to hang on to.
I thought we most edited most.
No,
of it.
it's all there. Raw.
Oh, good.
Raw,
Well, you're in for a
uncut.
treat then, fans. It's, I think the director's commentary probably, and this is, I gotta say, I gotta congratulate you, Luke, on a very clean, swear-free show. But let me warn the kids at home: the developer commentary after a couple glasses of wine and some good food, it's kind of blue. Jones and Marty and I go a little blue.
You guys were drinking wine?
Yeah.
Interesting, because we're drinking beer here in Mantan.
Oh yeah, we were drinking wine and eating canapes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So, Frank, I don't know if we.
You can't just do a grunt voice and get away with
my
it.
exit. It's
Well, what
my
is-
exit every
what
time.
was? I was going to ask Joe. Do you have a personal favorite line of grunt dialogue?
Of grunt dialogue?
Some of the hostile
what's-
No, but man, I
dialogue.
got some favorite lines from Halo 3 that I can't say any of them. But
the line that you read.
which one?
I'm asking you. Is there a line that you read that you
Oh, the
really
grunt
liked?
dialogue
Yeah,
for Halo 3?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Or Halo
I definitely
2
have
or Halo 1.
favorite
Well,
lines.
okay, sure. You can go all the way back to Halo 1 if you need to.
Grunt dialogue for Halo 1. I mean, I love the Easter egg from Halo 1.
Go ahead.
The look on your face as you're about to do
Take
it.
the food nipples waiting for me at the starship because, well, have I worked up a big grunty thirst?
or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But the awesome
Nice.
thing about
Like
that
you don't
line
remember.
is it was
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was young and full of energy. But the cool thing about that line is it was literally the last line that we recorded for the grunt, and I was exhausted. And I think Jones said, "Say something funny," and that was all I managed to come up with. But that's pretty.
Nice.
But the grunts have
Nipple lines.
new things that they do in Halo 3.
Some new behaviors you're talking
New
about.
behaviors that lend themselves to some pretty choice grunt lines, I gotta say.
That's-
I heard
and-
some classic lines.
We got a
when-
nipple
when
line
we were,
in the...
The one that stood out for me that we talked about is when I'm. I'll let you tell the nipple line, Frank. But I was in Sierra 117. I just finished an encounter. There's a series of tunnels you navigate with some flares on the ground, and there was one grunt left, and he tears away from me. And he's the only guy left, and all of a sudden he goes, "Feet don't fail me now."
And
he's-
again in grunt voice?
He's just scurrying. Yeah, can you do it, John? Go
That
ahead.
was in Halo 1, that line. It's a good
Yeah.
line, though.
Oh
Feet
wow!
don't fail me now.
It was just so appropriate, and of course it was a big hit with the fans. And then you just meleeed the poor guy.
Well, the other
Yeah.
one that people actually heard was when the grunt was complaining about how his job was advertised to him by the Covenant recruiting. What was that one, Joe?
I don't remember. But the thing is, it's not just me. There are two other guys doing grunts too this time. So in Halo 1 it was just me, and then in Halo 2 we had a couple people doing it, and then now we have 3. So you actually get. I mean, there's so many more characters on.
Well,
screen
the
that
new
you
one
get
they
these different
call
voices.
the new one they're calling on the interwebs. They're calling him Cartman Grunt.
Oh,
'Cause
Cartman
They think he
Grunt?
sounds like Cartman from
That's
South
funny.
You know, some people
That's
even
funny.
said that they're so lovable and funny and cute now that you just feel bad for killing them. Like
Then we best not talk about that thing you guys were doing earlier where I nearly peed.
With the
that
grunt.
makes the
With
killing more
the certain
funner.
thing that you enhanced the game with that was making the killing of grunts much more interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
the gamma setting again?
Oh, yes.
We're back on that? Okay.
Right. Brighter they are,
When you look at them and
more
lower the
fun.
rifle. Yeah.
But that changed everything for Halo for me.
Yeah. It did.
Wow.
It's huge.
It was pretty cool. Do we have any more questions?
Yes,
I think I got
we do.
a couple more.
We
one
one
more.
One more question.
yeah, I think
about
last
retail
question.
Xbox
But we-
360.
we answered it earlier, unless you want to go through
Well, we
in
did.
detail
but,
exactly
well,
what's
no,
in.
you're right. We already covered
Wait,
it.
I have a question that maybe
Alright.
it seems to not make it to your scripts. Scarab Lord 1337 wants to know. So, who's the best Halo player in the room right now? That's a loaded
yeah.
question.
Yeah, that's
I feel like we did this one last week, and swapping Joe for Lars doesn't change it.
Well, it does because
Last time I thought you said it was Lars.
It's me. It was then. It is
you're
now.
the best one in this room.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if you're polite, you're supposed to wait for someone to say something like, "You know, guys, I think it's fair to say that Luke is probably
No.
the
And
best."
And then you're
Halo
like,
player
oh,
in the
come
room."
on, please.
Nope.
You're too kind.
No,
Did you actually work at One Up, or did you just play Halo? That's what
no,
I want to know.
I worked.
Did you?
And
That's
I
not
have
what
a
I
vast
heard.
body of work at One Up.
All right.
Working
Because I didn't hear
people's
you in the
nerves.
credits for their podcast. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I get no respect.
Snap to snap.
No, Luke's good. Luke's good. And if it weren't for animation bugs, he'd beat my ass roundly every week.
Except when you and Frank unite and beat Sketch and I.
Only
No,
on
there are
that one
times. But
map,
here's
yeah.
the thing about
I
Frank. I
think
don't know if you
those days are
discussed this
behind
before.
us, dude. We could take them right now.
Frank is
should.
hot and cold.
Yeah,
and when you
definitely.
get Frank
I know
on a
that.
day when he's hot, you're totally doomed.
Well, we had a
I'll
whole
play
day.
them right now with the big button controller, and that's it. I'll do it.
We had a whole thing where we observed one day where I played with Sketch and I played with Joe and I played with Frank, and the only time I won was when I played with Frank, and Frank won with every single person he played
It's
with.
true. He was really
It was like
on that
it was
day.
just insane.
But I'm super inconsistent. When I'm bad, it's just like I've gone games downstairs in the lab, perfectly normal games where I've scored 1 kill, and I've gone games where I get like 50, and it's just I don't know. Like sometimes I'm on and sometimes I'm off. It sucks.
Yeah.
It makes me a really bad team player because you never know which version you're going to get.
So we're
Tell
getting-
me about it.
We're getting old, dude. Luke's
I know.
just a young whippersnapper, quick reflexes.
Yep.
Hey, I see something on my agenda we haven't talked about: the Peter Jackson project.
Oh,
Are
lottie
we allowed?
da.
Are we
Anybody
allowed
want
to
to ask
go
me a
there?
question about that?
yeah,
No,
how's,
not really.
how's it going?
No comment.
How far along is it?
No comment.
I said it was about halfway done during E3, but I was
You
talking
did.
about I'm actually talking about the linear time process, which is actually
I
true.
think it's
Yeah, I read
just
some crazy
more
interview
lies
with you
from
where-
Frank.
Where's that
Frank just-
interview that? Yeah.
Yeah.
What? That was crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that crazy. I mean, like
Well,
we've
no,
been
I mean,
working. It is halfway through the amount of time between us starting to work with them and when it's due, right?
I don't know if we've even said that.
Yeah, we have.
There is
We've-
no
we've-
due date.
I mean, it can
It's
go
done
late,
when
but-
it's done.
It's done when it's done.
Yeah, but the beauty of that is we're the only ones who know when it started
That's
and
true.
when it's coming out. So,
That's true.
so
But
it's
you
still
said
true.
you said we were halfway through, and then I got nervous because
Yeah, I know because you got to deliver.
Step it up.
Yeah.
Step it up. You know, we need to get some audio snippets, and one of them is "Step It Up" from Harold Ryan.
Right.
Another one is from the Arbiter from Halo 3.
It seems we have guests.
Exactly. We
Nice.
gotta get those files. in
Actually,
here.
Harold said he'd be up for a future show.
Absolutely.
He's
We've
all
got
good.
we've got Harold, Lee
He enjoys
Wilson,
beer.
John T.
Late night show for
I
Harold.
think I
Yeah.
think Cuban would be pretty good too. He just walks by. He's
Yeah.
got he has another famous catchphrase around here.
he
We're
does.
gonna make $1,000. Right. He gets really excited about a new feature and claims that we're gonna win these. We're gonna make unlikely amounts of money.
yeah, like $1 million. It's true.
He showed one of those things just the other day, like the final version of it, right?
Oh, he
the
showed us
press
the final
saw
version of,
yeah,
of the
loading
Halo
screen,
loading
right?
screen. Yep.
Big hit, huge
Yep.
hit.
I mean,
I would-
we got all excited about it when we first saw it, but we didn't think it was going to translate. To the
Everyone
public.
said, "Wow, nice loading screen."
Yeah, I know it was cool.
I would love to have that as a screensaver personally. on
Yep.
my-
Yep.
on
I
my
asked him
PC.
about it. He said it's not impossible to do. He said it's pretty straightforward. He won't be able. I mean, probably won't ever do it anyway. But he did say it would be pretty simple
Could
if
make
he had the time.
$1,000.
He can make $1,000. But it's really cool.
All right, that's everything for this week. Does anyone else have anything? Joe, do you want to?
Marathon. Weren't
Huh?
we talking about marathon this week?
No,
Oh,
Well,
No.
now that you brought it up,
Now that you brought it up, we can.
oh, sorry. Just
What-
edit that out.
Huh, no, that's fine.
What did you want to talk about with Marathon, Joe?
No, I thought we had some announcement about it this week, didn't we?
no, we already announced it. You're late.
Old.
Oh, okay.
Old.
I just sent you a gift to your email account.
All right.
It says old.
Yeah, it's Wilford Brimley. He's talking about the diabetes.
I got nothing.
Speaking of animated GIFs, isn't there a cool one to Frank that I saw going around? Didn't somebody already coin that to death stare?
Death stare, yeah. Did you see like the anime version of it?
You know, if people don't want the people's elbow to the back of their head, they best not walk in the middle of a demo, because then they're going to smell what the rock is cooking. That's all I'm saying. Like, some guy walked in the middle of the demo, and I don't remember if I was actually mad at him. I doubt it.
Oh, you were
really?
raging about
Really?
that guy all night.
Was I going to, like,
really
clothesline
put you
him
in
or
a
something?
sour mood?
Did he have his drink on? What was
Remember,
that?
I had to talk
Were
you
in your
down,
cups?
pull you back.
But it just looks like I'm giving him a nasty stare, but
I think
really
you were just so intense.
That's probably helping him to his seat.
That's how all the demos were, though. They were just so, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. It's like you can't even look away from the screen. It was just so
You
intense.
guys were hardcore, no cheats.
Was somebody counted me blinking? Like, so it was, what, a 5-10 minute demo, and I blinked 8 times.
Yeah, it was intense.
In 10
You
minutes.
Hannibal Lectered it?
Yeah,
God, it's like
thanks.
you're watching porn.
Well,
Big button.
No, because it lasted more than 1 minute, and I didn't fall asleep afterwards. But
Oh,
Well,
and with that,
Yeah, I think, and with that, if you've got feedback, positive, negative, or otherwise, go ahead and send it to me, Brian, or Frank.
But
know-
definitely not
no,
me.
no.
Definitely not me.
Let's reestablish that. If you have positive feedback, send it to me and Brian. And if you have negative feedback,
true.
send it to our producer,
Yeah.
Luke. I'm awesome at Halo Smith.
producer / soundboard technician.
No, the mixing and mastering of
Oh,
the
we should
Bungie
give a shout out to
podcast
those
is
guys.
actually
Yeah,
done
yeah,
by
oh, yeah.
our audio guys, including
Steve Lopez,
Steve Lopez,
Jay Wineland.
and Jay Wineland.
An
Big
award-winning
shout-outs.
audio team.
Probably C-Paul somewhere in there as well, probably,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And I gotta say, I came into the Bungie podcast today, and I was expecting a little bit more of a stripped down, back to basics experience. But
This
there's
is
4 microphones, a
Pauper
big new
stoppers.
fancy piece
Yeah.
of.
We got
Look at this new
a brand
hardware,
new
Luke,
rig
guy.
today.
I mean, it's not Marty's office.
No, but
It
I have the
is.
junior version of what Marty
It's-
has.
no,
His
but-
has,
but like
But Luke's only been
270
here for
more
a couple
channels.
months. I mean, Luke just started. Now look what he's building around him.
You know,
An
there's a
empire.
grand tradition though at Bungie of spending thousands of dollars on audio equipment.
Oh, yeah. And like Marty's office, we have one more thing in common, which is it's an excuse to drink during work hours.
That's true.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention that we started today's broadcast at 9:30 a.m.
Everyone's so chipper.
I know.
Speaking of extravagant lifestyles, where'd that monitor go that you used to have, Mr. Staten?
Which monitor?
One of the first Apple Cinema displays I'd ever seen in my life, when that thing was wheeled out in the middle of Halo 2.
You know,
and
the scary thing is
all work stopped, and everyone's like, "You
the scary
son of
thing
a
is
bitch."
the Halo 3 cinematics team, led by CJ Cowan,
Yeah.
they have hotter monitors than I ever had. Those guys have got. Have you seen their color correct?
Oh,
color
yes.
correct monitors.
Oh, the
yes.
And have
Panasonic
you-
things?
Yeah.
But they're tiny.
I don't want to
Like,
end the show on a tease, but I gotta say, like, I walked into, look at some cinematic stuff. Have you seen the lighting that they're putting in for
Yeah,
some of the cinematics?
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty good.
Pretty awesome. And I gotta say, CJ and Lee and Kurt and all those guys. I mean, they're doing some really awesome stuff. On record, best cinematics ever in a Halo game. Those guys are knocking the ball out of the park.
Awesome. You know, speaking of monitors, have you seen all the programmer environment love or monitor love too?
No, what's that?
What do they
No,
got?
how they all rotate.
Oh, they take their
Portrait
widescreens
now,
and
and
put them
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
like I mean, that's got to be heaven for a programmer, right? It's a lot of code in front of you.
Yeah, it's really boring. It'd
All
be
right.
good for playing Galaxian,
Edit that
too.
comment out. That was lame.
I think I'm going to leave that, and we'll be back eventually.
Maybe
With it.
next week. Who
Yeah.
It could be
knows?
next week. It
Should.
depends.
Let's do it. Why not?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll have
Stick to your schedule. Step it up. Get to work.
we'll have another person in the 4th chair next week, and until next week, so long.